Hey guys, today I want to talk about how I go about teaching a horse to neck rein. This is Jolene from the Halter Training Journey. I just got her in a Bosal now. As soon as I got back from the pack trip last summer, I took her out of the halter and I've been riding her in the Bosal, the last few rides here at home. So what I want to talk about is there's 2 points to this. One is teaching and the other is motivating. And when I'm teaching, I always think about giving them a choice. So how I start that is way back in the halter, when I got them in a halter and I'm riding them with just one rein. Because the very first ride I put on a horse is on the halter, and you'll see that in the 2-year-old journey. And you'll also see how I start the neck rein on that video as well. But now that I'm in the Bosal, it's kind of the same thing. I just want to pick up on one line, and it's way easier in a Bosal for them to figure it out, and just make sure I can teach the backup. Right? So when I'm asking her to back up, that's what they can do. You see how she bends her head? And if I release when she bends her head, that's what she's going to do. But if she has the willingness, the choices to be able to bend her head and try to get out of it, but it doesn't give her what she needs, she's quickly going to quit trying to do that. And that's where motivation comes in. So when I'm thinking about motivation, all I do is think about an early response gets an early release. A late response gets a late release. So I'm going to do that same exercise again, just pick up on her again and just see what she's going to try to do to challenge that. And when she turns, so I'm going to pick up on her a little bit more this time, but I'm not going to release when she backs up. I'm going to bump on her a little bit and make her back up a little faster, right? Because that's the second time she'd done that. So I just released for a later response. And I'm going to see if that motivation took a hold. So I'm going to give her this rein right there. And when I turn on the prep, you can see she looks that way. So that's going to be the reason that I ask her to back up again. And then she gives that nose and backs up. Now she's chewing, because what she did is she turned to the left twice. Second time, I held till I got a bigger movement backwards, and that's the motivation. And that changed her mind from looking left. Now she looked right. Right? So I'm just going to walk her forward so that I don't get too far away from you, and start that same thing again. But I'm thinking about the pattern of the last time I picked up on that one rein, she looked to the right. So if she looks to the right this time again, there, she's already going to. So I'm already in my mind, I know that I'm going to hold that command on until she gives me a little bit more speed backwards. So she walked forward, so I'm going to pick up on her. And she's pretty darn straight there. It's almost like she heard me. So I'm just checking her out, giving her an opportunity to make that mistake, and just show her that I'll back her a little bit or melt, and just see if I can melt her right there. And just hold for a few seconds, still right there. Don't look that way. So there it was. So when she looked that way, I just get a little bit more speed in her and then release for that. And you notice when I release, I really throw that rein down there. Right? So I'm just going to start it again. She walks off. I'm going to pick up on her, make sure she waits on me. That's all part of that prep, so I can really get into her mind. She takes a really pretty step backwards, hold for 4 seconds, and boom. So that whole conversation was just about not only backing up from one rein, but it exposed some resistance that I found in her, giving me the opportunity to stay in that conversation until she give me that backup with one rein willingly, and that is so important to everything that we do. And, at this point in time, I can change reins and work on the other side, or I can ask her to turn off that neck rein, and either one wouldn't matter. And the reason I point that out is because a lot of my students, I always tell them to, when you get through a conversation like that, change reins. So when she's walking off, I'm going to do that. I'm going to come on this side and ask her to back up with that rein and see what I get there. She's always got to finish with that nose in for 4 seconds. Hold there and then turn loose. So the reason I have my students change sides is because that ends a pattern. And that's how I've learned how to have a conversation with a horse, is breaking up every conversation down to very specific pieces of that conversation, because I'm talking about neck rein, but I'm getting way more than neck rein here, right? I'm getting the mind. So when I pick up on the rein, I'm preparing her to do a collected lope departure, because I'm getting that look that I'm wanting down the road early on in her training. And when I pick up on the rein, if she backs up straight, I only ask for a couple steps. Now, if she starts looking to the right, I can speed her up a little bit. Because, excuse me, that is key, is having her do just what I ask. And that's follow a feel. When I talk about follow a feel, I've got the chew there. So follow a feel means that I can be that smooth with my rein and talk to those resistant things I seen. Turning her head to the left, turning her head to the right, dropping her nose too far down, bringing her head too far up, poking her nose out. These are all things that I would have that conversation that I just had right there. I would achieve that same result, but get rid of all that resistance. So I'm going to switch back to this other side, and this time I'm going to go into just the neck rein. So when I pick up on her, if she looks that way, I'm going to start to back up, and I'm going to hold. She looks to the left, so I'm going to start to back up, or my left. And as I'm backing her up, I'm looking for that resistance, so she's got to be right there and turn her loose. Right? So what I'm teaching her is way more refinement from what I did to her, on them very first rides in a halter. And the Bosal allows me to do that because it keeps them straighter. So I'm going to turn on my prep again, and I would expect her to look straight ahead. Perfect, just like that. So when I pick up on her, she says, "What are we doing next?" And I'm going to say, "We're going to take one step back, but don't resist by looking left or right. One step. Hold. Off." So you can see the mindset I've got. So now I'm going to switch sides. Turn on this side. And she didn't listen to me, so I'm going to pick up on her and ask her to back up. Wait for her to look left or right. Yeah, she's fidgeting, so I'm going to ask her to back up again. She can't put her head down. We already talked about that. She's got to do just what that feel tells her. So she's got to keep her neck level, get off the contact a little bit. There. Oh, she's lifting on me a little bit, so I just tap her a little bit. She's pulling on my hand just a little bit, and that's what this tap is doing, is just keeping her following that subtle feel. Right? And there we go. Hold for 4 and drop it. I'm just going to ride her up there again. And now all I'm going to do is, now that I've got that step on her, I'm just going to pick up on my rein and expect her to turn. Just like that. So the angle is very important. I'll talk about that. So my hand just goes off to the side, bend in the elbow and pick up. Bend in the elbow and pick up. So what I'm looking for is that she looks to the left, her shoulder steps to the left, and however high I lift this hand is the degree of circle that we stay on, right? So if I start lifting that rein a little bit more, we should go right into a spin. So I'm just going to gradually lift it. And if I find any resistance, I'm just going to tap her a little bit, and go all the way into a spin. Once she stops that back end, there. Once I find her lock in, then I just level off right there, and I can keep this turn going on until I see her bring her nose to the left more. There, and there. So I give her quick little releases, and then when she walks out, I pick up on her again, there. And pick up on her again, and there. So you can see how no, don't go down, just over there. And don't walk out of it, and there. And do it again. So you can see I got pretty specific about that neck rein, taking it to the point of a spin. And when I did, don't look out and don't look over. Right? Don't drop your head down, and don't look to the right. So I'm just going to hold there for 4 seconds and call that quit. So you can see, guys, once I start teaching stuff, you can get really strategic.